Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Architects Fast Forward webinar series. My name is Lillian, and I will be your moderator for today. Architects Fast Forward is a webinar series focused on the holistic perspective from the industry. Each session brings together collaboration from the industry with renowned architecture and building professionals sharing their experiences from various perspectives, including industry, business, and education. This is to address all the current key issues and topics as well. Please note that this session is CPD applicable. A code will appear on screen anytime throughout this session. To claim your CPD points, please follow the instructions in the comment section. Also, a big thank you for those of you who've joined us slightly earlier and back to join us again. We would like you to do a quick and short survey through the link which is also in the comment section right now to let us know how you think of our Architects Fast Forward webinar series after today's webinar. Today, we will talk about how rainwater harvesting systems work. Rainwater harvesting is the process of filtering and storing rainwater instead of allowing it to run off. It provides an independent yet free water supply that offers several ways of usage. Moreover, with the recent water interruptions that are plaguing Selangor frequently, one can look into rainwater harvesting as an alternative source of independent non-potable water supply, which is sustainable and environmentally friendly. You can also actually use this harvested water for irrigation, toilet flushing, general cleaning, vehicle washing, and even laundry. Rainwater is collected from the roof, which is free from any human activities, so it is relatively clean and clear, and sometimes even better than the treated water that we normally have. With that, let me introduce the speaker for today, Mr. Terence Teo. Mr. Terence is the Assistant Manager in Project Sales Application and has been with Backfree for more than 10 years. Over the years, he had designed a vast range of systems, ranging from water filtration and treatment to rainwater harvesting systems. Up to date, he had completed over 150 projects in Malaysia. I would now like to bring Mr. Terence on screen. Hi, Mr. Terence.
Hi.
Hi, Terence. How are you today? You good?
Good.
Okay, I'll now like to pass the stage over to you then.
Okay, thank you. Okay, hi. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. Sorry for the glitch earlier. Okay, so for today's presentation, all right. Sorry, I'll just start again. My name is Terence. I'm actually from Backfree. Okay, so for today's presentation, we will talk about rainwater harvesting system. Okay. So in this session itself, we will actually cover a few parts of my company background, rainwater in general, our products, what the applications of the rainwater, the issues that we will face, and lastly, our project references. So Backfree, we've actually been in the market since 1982, and if you ever heard Backfree before, we are actually the pioneer distributor of portable drinking water filters. Okay, we started off with drinking water filters, and then eventually we moved on to outdoor filter, centralized filter, water filtration, water disinfection, and rainwater harvesting system 11 years ago. And up to date, we are actually doing disinfections as well for this COVID issue. So we are actually a Malaysian company based in Subang Jaya SS13. We have branches in SS19 Subang Jaya, Penang, Johor Bahru, and even in Malacca. And for information, we are an ISO 9001 QMS certified company. So this is actually a timeline of Backfree, of when we started off in 1982, our first office in SS18, our showroom in SS19, and during our 2020th anniversary, our founder, Mr. Chi, was actually labeled as the water filter man of Malaysia. Okay, and we actually are indeed rainwater harvesting in 2006. Our first pilot project was in Panasonic warehouse in 2010. We actually appointed as the master distributor of Southeast Asia for our German counterpart, WC. And along the years, we have actually achieved and received a few awards, such as Brand Laureates, Home Decks Quality Awards, and even Architects Awards as well. We achieved ISO in 2014, and also our products are certified, Mahijau certified in 2016. And also, we actually sent our products for testing at Naharim in 2017. Up to date, we've installed more than 13,800 landed properties and 425 commercial buildings just for rainwater only. Okay, so this is actually our system partner, WC. WC is actually a German company founded in 1989, and they are also one of the founding members of the German Association of Rainwater Harvesting System. And their founder, Mr. Norbert Winkler, participated in the DIN committee, which actually came up with the current DIN standard for rainwater harvesting system. So WC is actually one of the leading manufacturers of rainwater harvesting system globally, and they have fish supplied to more than over 40 countries. And we are the master distributor for Southeast Asia. So rainwater, to let you understand better on rainwater, all right? Rainwater, right, you can actually collect rainwater from anywhere. But why do you need to use rainwater? Okay, you can actually use rainwater firstly to save on bills, your water bill, and you can actually act as a backup water supply. Because as you know, Malaysia, we have 4 seasons. Okay, haze season. Okay, we have dengue season. Okay, and we have flooding season, and now we have water rationing season. Okay, so during that period of time, many Selangor people, they face difficulty because they do not have water to flush the toilet. Okay, they don't have water to use. Okay, and one of the other reasons why you need to use rainwater is actually because it's a government requirement for all new construction projects from semi-D, bungalow, and above. Okay, and by using rainwater, you're actually helping to protect the environment by reducing the chances of flooding as well. Okay, just for information, in 2012, okay, the Malaysian Uniform Bylaws has actually required all new projects, okay, buildings, residential buildings, okay, landed properties, bungalows and semi-D, okay, to have rainwater harvesting system. Okay, so before we move on, I'd like to show you a photo. This is a house of a very famous architect from a very famous architect firm, and he has a house in Bangsa. And as you know, Bangsa is a very matured area with lots of trees. So before the government implemented rainwater, he tried for his own house first. So what he did was that he channeled 2 downpipes into 2 tanks, used it for gardening and general cleaning. 6 to 9 months, he was very, very happy because he's getting free water and the water is clean and clear. All right. And then after that, after a year, he noticed that the pump got choked and then the water was turning to a very foul smell. So he actually called our boss to send our team over there. And when our team went there, when he opened up the tanks, this is what happened in the tank. Because there's no rainwater filter, all the leaves and sediments went directly into the tank and it rot in there. So it's actually like a bacterial breeding ground. So the water is very smelly. So after that, what we did was that we actually cleaned the tank for him and actually installed a filter for him. Okay, so this in order to design the system, there's actually 3 main aspects. All right, firstly, the rainwater downpipe, the catchment area, and also the rainwater tank. So the catchment area is actually divided into 3 parts. Okay, very simple. You have the rooftop. In your rooftop itself, you have pitch roof, flat roof, and even garden roof. Okay, can collect from the podium as well. And lastly, if you need to, you can even collect from the surface runoff, which includes the road, walkway, and garden. Just for information again, each type of catchment area determines the efficiency. What it means is that how much water will be going into your gutter. All right, meaning to say if you have a pitch roof, 85% of the rainwater will be channeled into your gutter. And if you have a garden roof, most of the water will be collected, will be absorbed by the soil and plants. So you're left with 40% only. Okay. Rainwater downpipe. Most of the houses and buildings right now, they are using conventional, but along these years, siphonic rainwater downpipe is actually getting very popular. All right. So for this siphonic rainwater downpipe, it's actually totally different from conventional because conventional downpipe runs based on annual flow. The maximum is only 30-50%. Okay, and then after that, what happens is that it will require many rainwater downpipes. Okay, however, siphonic downpipe is actually a full bore flow. Air is eliminated from the downpipe. Okay, because of the high velocity and discharge capacity, require less downpipes. Okay, both systems, you need to find a way to interface the downpipes to the system. If you're talking about like convention, it's very simple. You connect the downpipe into the filter, and there you go. You have rainwater harvesting system. However, for siphonic, you need to actually break the siphonic effect prior to entering the filter. There's a few ways you can see here to reduce the velocity. Okay. So a rainwater tank, there's actually a pros and cons for the where you put your tank. You can actually put it on the ground floor, underground, or even on high level. What I mean by high level is that if you have a condominium projects or office tower 20 stories high, you might have an M&E floor in the middle of the building, level 10. Okay, so that is actually high level. So you put it on the ground floor, all right. The problem is that you aesthetic not very pleasing. It's very ugly to put a tank on the ground floor. Okay. Secondly, it consumes a lot of space. And lastly, when it's on the ground floor, you have no water pressure at the outlet, so you need to install a pump. Underground wise, the pros is that it is the best looking one because why? You cannot see the tank, it's actually located underground. However, it will be very costly for you to construct the underground tank. Maintenance of the tank is also one issue, and lastly, the drainage invert level to the monsoon drain. That's another issue. The best location is actually to locate it at high level, okay? But you need to look for available space, and also the servicing and maintenance of the tank is actually more simple. And just for information again, how to determine the tank capacity. All right. Firstly, you need to look into where is your project location. If it's located in Kuala Lumpur, you must follow DBKL's requirement, which is the catchment area, multiply by 0.02, which is your rainwater tank capacity. If in Selangor, you can even consider to use MASMA second edition to determine your tank capacity. Or lastly, you can use the rule of thumb of 3, 5, or 7 days based on your demand or your collection. Okay, so this is actually our rainwater filter. All right, this is meant for residential landed properties, houses, factories, shop lots. This filter, right, it actually works based on a single vertical downpipe, and this filter itself, the inlet, all right, and the drain is 4 inches, 100 mm. So based on these 4 inches, right, it maintains the cross-sectional diameter of the downpipe. No rainwater, no leaves, particles, or even branches will get clogged in the filter because it is based on a hollow design. What I mean by a hollow design is that this filter is fully vertical. Anything that goes from the inlet will go out from the outlet without choking. And just for info, again, the mesh itself for this filter is 0.28 millimeters, which is the finest in the world. No one in the market is actually doing such a fine filtration. Because why? Most of them are actually having a horizontal strainer. Okay, one of the questions that most of my clients usually ask me, with this hollow vertical strainer design, how much water can it collect? I should inform them, based on our NARIM test report, efficiency goes up to 90%, meaning to say that if 100 liters of water is being poured on a roof, 90 liters will be channeled into a rainwater tank. Balance of 10%, 10 liters of water will be going to the drain. Okay, and another beauty of the product is it is actually minimal maintenance. Our recommended maintenance for the filter is once or twice a year. Okay, and then because why? We dare to make a bold assumption. Malaysians don't do maintenance. When was your last time when you clean your roof, your house cold water tank? 10 years, 15 years? So as a supplier, we need to make a bold assumption that no one maintains the filter. And when no one maintains the filter, it will not choke. Because once you have a choked filter, all right, you'll start to backlog your gutter. And if it's a residential house, your gutter is too heavy, it collapses. Okay? And lastly, our products are all made in Germany and imported to Malaysia, and they are all DIN certified. So the next part itself is actually our vortex filter. This vortex filter is meant for high-rise properties, residential, commercial, and even for industrial. For this vortex filter, you can connect multiple downpipes together and then enter into one number of filter depending on the size of the roof. For this filter itself, if you see the figures actually indicates the size of the inlet and outlet in millimeters. So if you see vortex 300, the inlet is 300 mm. So for this vortex filter, right, it actually maintains the cross-sectional diameter and it is also a fully vertical strainer. The only difference with the FS is that it is actually a side inlet. As you can see from this short video, all right, the inlet is from the side. So whenever the water comes in, it creates a centrifugal force like a washing machine. And with this centrifugal force, water is being forced through the mesh of 0.28 mm based on a capillary effect. Okay. And another additional benefit of this vortex filter is that it actually enriches your rainwater with oxygen. All right, I'll go to the next part. So this is actually the strainer itself. The secret of our filter is actually the strainer. The strainer itself is actually a two-layer mesh which actually sucks out water based on a capillary effect. And some people might ask me, why do you need to have a filter up to 0.28 millimeters? Because they tend to forget Malaysia is one of the country with the highest cases of dengue. All right. So in order to prevent mosquitoes from treating your rainwater tank as a breeding ground, you need to have such a fine filtration. Okay. And due to its vertical design as well, okay, that nothing is actually blocking the flow of the rainwater, so you'll never choke. Okay. So this is actually a short video of how the Vortex rainwater filter works. This is the diagram that I showed you earlier. Leaves and particles will go down directly with the balance of 5% because this filter is actually the filtration is efficiency up to 95%. So this part of the video is taken from the top of the filter. So if you might notice, right, this is actually the inlet, this is the drain, this is the stainless steel strainer of 0.28 millimeters. So anything that goes through your downpipe will go through the filter without choking. As you can see over here, the ball goes through, okay? And if you can see the inlet itself, so much water that comes in, the one that goes to the drain is so little. We call this vortex filter a self-cleaning filter because why? The incoming rainwater will actually flush all the leaves and debris out of the filter, okay? And some people also ask me, in that case, why do we need to maintain the filter? Because as you know, our bottle, for example, our water bottle, after we put the water in there for some time, for about a week or two, you notice there's a layer of slime, okay? This layer of slime will start to form on the strainer itself. And when that happens, your efficiency will start to drop from 95 to 85 to 75 and so forth. That's why we recommend our customers to maintain it themselves by taking out the strainer and washing it once every 6 months to make sure you have the maximum efficiency, okay? So the next part of the video is actually taken from the side. This is actually after filtration. Okay, if you notice all these bubbles over here, why are we introducing in oxygen into the rainwater? Because what happens is that rainwater, if you think back, your grandparents' house, they actually like to save rainwater. They just put a pail outside there, they save rainwater. But after a week or two, you notice the rainwater, there'll be a smell to it. It's all because of whenever you actually introduce in oxygen into rainwater, it actually break down the organic materials, meaning to say that the longer you store the water, there will not be a foul smell to your rainwater. Because once there's actually a foul smell, people will start to reject rainwater harvesting system. Okay? All right. So the next part is actually the top-up valve. Rain does not come every day. Am I correct? You need to have a backup. This backup is actually you're introduced in city water supply. Okay, so this is actually called an in-tank accessories. It's fully mechanical. The concept of this top-up valve is similar to your ball float valve, but reverse engineered. What happened is that we actually tie a string up to the valve and the weight. The weight itself is neutral in buoyancy. Okay, what happened itself is that whenever your water level drops to a certain level, based on the length of the string that we tie, perhaps 10% or 20%, you'll start to top up city water, but you'll not top up the whole thing with city water, because if not, it'll defeat the purpose of collecting rainwater. Okay, so we only top up 10 centimeters in height of the rainwater tank only. Okay, this product itself is actually made in New Zealand. Okay, but sometimes you know that you have commercial building, okay, you are using the rainwater for toilet flushing. You need to have more backup supply. So what we have over here is actually a big boy top-up valve. Comes in 2 inches and 1.5 inch. The concept is similar to your electrode level sensor and motorized valve. Okay, there's actually a start point and a stop point. Okay, if I tie the length of the string from the first weight to the second weight at 1 meter in height, it'll top up city water in 1 meter. Okay, the difference of this big boy and the Rainate is actually based on a diaphragm activated full flow valve, and you have a variable adjustment of the minimum and maximum water level in your tank. Okay, so the next part is actually the rainwater tank. This is one of our latest design for rainwater tank. This rainwater tank itself, right, it actually integrated as a flower pot come rainwater tank. we can actually put this rainwater tank at the car porch area. All right, usually because rainwater tank is placed at the back of the house, all right, or sometimes they put on the ground floor. It looks very aesthetically not pleasing. Okay, so what we have over here is that this tank itself, you put it at the car porch area, you can plant plants at the top cover there. Okay, and it stores water up to 50 gallons. Okay, and the tank itself comes with a strainer to avoid dirt and all. I mean, like the soil going into the rainwater tank. Okay, so it's also SPAN certified. So this tank itself, our system design comes with a pump, a filtration, and also this tank, and also a top-up valve. Rainwater. Where can you use the rainwater? Actually, rainwater is a very innovative system, and it is actually you can use it for all types of projects, such as our buildings, commercial, industrial, hotels, all right, shopping mall, public buildings, residential high-rise, low-rise, as well. So when you actually have a system ready, you filter the water, you store the water. What can you do with your water? Right? People, I think so. Most of the projects, all the buildings in the market are actually using it for irrigation. But Malaysia, it rains so often. So how often do you use the rainwater? So for bag free, we are actually proposing to you to use the rainwater for toilet flushing. Okay, if you are a office tower building, or even consider it for shopping malls. Okay, apart from that, you can actually use it for your cleaners, general cleaning, car washing if it's a residential high rise, and even for laundry, because rainwater is very soft. When you have a soft water, you uses less detergent to create more bubbles, so you're saving on detergent costs as well. Okay, lastly, irrigation and sprinkler, and also you can even use rainwater for industrial applications. And lastly, most of the buildings in the market, I mean, with cooling tower, all right, 70% or 80% of their water bill comes from cooling tower. So you can actually use the rainwater for cooling tower. We have actually applied the rain for a few projects already. If I'm not mistaken, almost about 4 to 5 projects. We've installed rainwater to use it for cooling tower. Okay. So rainwater qualities. When you install a system by Battery, what are the water that you can actually look at? I mean, what you'll be getting. Okay. So we'll actually take a few samples from our Pioneer project, Panasonic warehouse, UITM in Shah Alam, back my HQ in Subang Jaya. And although this is a rainwater, we'll compare it against drinking water standards. The first parameter itself, it means the clarity of the water. And if you see over here, the lower the unit, the clearer the water. Okay. So the next part, in terms of clarity, as you can see over here, Panasonic 0.43, UITM 0.73, and drinking water standards is less than 5. So what I'm trying to show you here is that rainwater, in terms of clarity, it is very good. In terms of color wise, it's less than 15, almost 10 times better, more than 10 times better. Okay. Hardness, as you see over here, is very soft water. TDS, not very high. But the only problem with rainwater is that you have bacteria. Sorry, because you can never control when a flock of birds fly past your roof. One of them has a tummy ache. They actually poop on your roof. There you go. You have coliform and E. coli. Okay, and actually we have met with some developers previously about like 8 years ago. They actually asked us, "Hey, rainwater acidic. You say used for car washing. If the house is a bungalow with a very nice car, and if you use the rainwater to wash the car, already the paint fades. It's back free liable." We actually tell them the house owner has been driving his car under the rain every time. Okay, what you are doing right now, we're actually providing a better rainwater, whereby you're actually filtering the rainwater. However, going back to our parameter, pH in our rainwater in Malaysia is not very acidic. Even in industrial areas, it's slightly acidic only. The only time we face acidic rainwater is when there's a volcano eruption in Indonesia. And there you go, you have acid rain. Okay? So what are the issues that you need to consider before designing a system? Whether is it a safe and solid design? Because why? When you design a system, you must make sure that you're designing based on a local weather pattern and also its intensity. And this intensity data must come from Jabatan Meteorology. And also you need to make sure it complies to the local guidelines and municipal council requirement. And if it's a siphonic downpipe, you must follow its design as well. The ROI, whose professional responsibility is this? Developer, architect, M&E consultant, or CNS engineers. All right. And also the system maintenance, you need to look into it as well. The TNC practices, system warranties, and what are the problems that will arise due to a poorly designed system. So this is actually a weather pattern that I like to share with you. All this data, right, we actually bought this from Jabatan Meteorology. So if you see over here, Petaling Jaya, the average rainfall in 10 years is roughly about 3,200 mm. And if your project is located in Subang Jaya and you're using a Sepang station rainfall data of 2,000, what will happen? This will happen. This, as I mentioned earlier on, this is our pilot project, Panasonic factory back in 2009. Okay, if you notice over here, I told you before, our products are all from Germany. So when we buy the products from Germany, obviously we'll be using German rainfall data. German rainfall data, although the amount of water might be slightly similar to Malaysia, but the intensity is different. All right, back in Germany, you have a whole day rain, drizzling, very romantic. But in Malaysia, 30 minutes, Puchong is flooded already. Okay, so this, I'm not shy to show to our customers, to our clients of this, because why? It gives us a very good chance to learn from our mistake. So from here itself, what happens is that our management, my boss, Dr. Shi, they actually bought the information from Jabatan Meteorology. We studied the rainfall data of Malaysia, and then we came up with a calculator to design a fail-proof system for our customers. Okay, so siphonic rainwater downpipe, as I mentioned earlier on, there's a few ways to break the siphonic effect of the downpipes. Okay, you can actually use from the left side here, you can use a Y branch, a customized Y branch, or even you can use a header manifold like this. All these are actually some of the ways where you can actually break the siphonic effect prior to entering the rainwater filters. Okay, so system maintenance. I'll show you a short video of how to maintain our filters. So it's practically very, very simple. You just remove off the filter and take out the strainer and wash it under running water. You can use your tank scour pipe to wash it. Wash it about a few minutes, you put it back in, it's good to go. For our filters, there are no replacement parts. All it is actually a DIY maintenance. So it's a one-time investment only. Okay, so this is actually how the system looks like. The rainwater downpipe, and you have a filter there. This is the residential one, the FS filter collector. And it goes into tank, and there you have the overflow pipe. Okay, and the top-up bath. All right. So when we actually, after we actually install our system for bag free, we are not just supplying you a system. We are designing it for you. We are calculating all the risks and all the design, and then after that, we'll install, prepare the drawings for you. We'll assist you in municipal council requirements, and also after we install, we'll do a TNC. Okay, upon installation complete, we actually arrange a TNC with our clients, consultant, and contractors. In this TNC, we actually provide the rainwater tap signages, which will be installed at each and every tap point. Because as I mentioned earlier on, rainwater, there's bacteria. To avoid legal responsibilities, developers must put this tag at each and every tap points. All right. For this TNC, it's not like we actually install a air conditioning. Air conditioning you can test with electricity. Am I correct? However, rainwater, I can't control the rain. So over in our TNC, we'll only inspect on the physical state of the equipment and whether the installation is according to the shop drawings. And after we have actually tested, we actually take a water sample and we send it to an internal lab for testing. After 2 weeks, we'll provide the test report to our client. Okay. So our product warranties are actually 2 years, which matches the client's DLP period. And when this is a very important part of the presentation. Problems that will arise when you actually design poorly your system. If you do not have a rainwater filter, what happens is that if you see in the photo is that we actually extract from the previous photo, accumulation of debris, foul odor, and even mosquito breeding, and also pump breakdown. All right, this is if you actually undersize your rainwater filter, what happened? Imagine if your office working halfway, you have water coming down from the ceiling. All right, that's what happened. Okay, internal flooding. And this, if you actually have your rainwater tank overflow, your rainwater tank overflow pipe, you undersize it, what will happen? Excess rainwater will not be able to come out from the tank. And when this happens, the whole tank bursts. It'll cause internal flooding again. So you can see from this photo, this is a sample. Okay. And then if you actually install a filter which makes you unable to maintain the filter, what will happen? You have a clogged filter. When the clogged filter efficiency starts to drop, rainwater you're only collecting like 5 to 10%. And then worse still, if they're having a horizontal strainer, you'll start to choke. You have a backlog. Okay? And don't think that when you actually don't maintain the filter, low efficiency is not a problem. Your water bill increases because you're not using rainwater anymore. Am I correct? So these are actually some of project references. We actually installed for Satya's corporate office. Okay, they're actually using the rainwater for toilet flushing. And just for information, for this rainwater harvesting system, we've installed the rainwater filters, the tank, the sand filtration, and even the UV disinfection. Because why? Satya wants to make this as a show, a gallery, okay, a showcase to their customers to show that they're using rainwater for toilet flushing. However, because rainwater there's a bacteria called biofilm, it'll stain the water level at your toilet bowl. So in order to avoid that, we actually installed a UV disinfection. So I usually joke with my other customers. I can tell them that you go to Satya's office, you can drink directly from the toilet bowl because it's UV disinfect, no bacteria, the rainwater. But obviously, don't do that lah. Huh? Okay. So the next prominent project that we have is PM office, Pertubuhan Architects Malaysia's office in Bangsa. We actually installed a rainwater filter system over there as well at the rooftop. And we have also in KDU. This KDU system is very, very interesting because they are actually using the rainwater for cooling tower. And once the cooling tower tank is filled up, it stops. The rest of the rainwater enters into the gardening tank. Okay, because most of their water consumption bill is from cooling tower. The next part is actually the new Toyota assembly plant. Previously, you heard about the news of the new CRV, CHR, sorry. That car itself, they say they are manufacturing over here. Okay, so there's a rumor. So what happens is that we actually install a rainwater harvesting system over here, complete with sand filtration and ultra filtration. Because why? These Japanese, they're actually using the rainwater for car production. Okay. Another iconic project, Penang Second Bridge. We actually install a system for this Penang Second Bridge, but don't be mistaken, we are not installing for the whole bridge. We're actually installing at the complex only. So for this complex, we're using the rainwater for irrigation. Okay, and IKEA Tebrau has also installed a system over here. As you can see, it's based on a siphonic rainwater downpipe. Prudential Tower in TRX City, Penang International Convention Center, SPICE, 4 numbers of filters that we can see over here. Landed properties we have is Satya Eco Glades in Cyberjaya. Our rainwater system is located at the back of the house, and in order to cover up this tank, all right, we actually installed louvers. This system has been installed more than 7 years ago. That's why at that time we have a very big 900 liters tank. Nowadays we have the EcoVas. Okay, and this is actually in Puchong. The Andes is a high-rise and villa project. This is actually a rainwater filter with the tank. Dahlia Residence, Tropicana Aman, we actually installed this tank as well. This tank itself is a very interesting tank as well because why? If you notice the tank, right, it comes with a louvers design. If you place it at the side of a house, you will not even notice that it is actually a tank because it matches with the facade of the building. And if you notice over here, our rainwater filter, we have the FS, FSP. This is actually the FSP. It matches with your rainwater downpipe color. You don't even know it's a rainwater filter. Okay? This is Kinvara Residence about 8 to 9 years ago. We installed for phase 1 and phase 2. All these are designer tanks, yeah, bear in mind. And we installed for Garden Residence as well, a poly tank and a FS filter collector. And these are actually some of our project references we've installed. Bandar Setialam, Eco Sky, Eco Sanctuary, M Residence, Hijan Residence, Bandar Rimbayu, Shang Villa, all right, the Glades, Capers, and many more. These are some of our portfolios that we've installed, we've dealt with them, cooperated with them. Okay. These are some of our end customers that we've installed for them. Even Four Seasons Hotel in Kuala Lumpur has our rainwater harvesting system. So we even installed in some of these projects as well. Okay, and this This page is actually not our rainwater filter customers. These are actually our water filtration customers. We actually supply water filtration and disinfection to some of these restaurants over here. All GSCs, all right? All Ting Tai Fongs, and even Papa Rich and Nando's. Okay? So if you'd like to find us, you know where to find us. As I mentioned, we're based in SS13, Subang Jaya Industrial Area Estate. You can contact us at 0356338281, or you can log on to our Facebook account at Back Free. And if you have anything, we'll actually move on to the Q&A session.
Thank you so much, Terence.
Yep.
Hi, thank you so much, Terence. That
Hi.
was a wonderful and
Welcome.
informative sharing. I also
Okay.
realized that my condo, the condo that I'm living in, also uses back free. So, yeah.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to our Q&A session.
Yeah,
Let's
sure.
see if there are any questions in the comment section. Okay, before we go into that, perhaps a couple of questions from my end.
Okay.
Just quick, just like to find out more. How much rainwater can we collect in a single year on average?
On average, you can collect about, if I can put it in Petaling Jaya, it's roughly
Mhm.
about 3,300 millimeters in a year, which is quite a lot of water because you see, right, in Malaysia, it rains every now and then. In a
Yes.
week, 7 days, I can say like 3 to 4 days is almost raining, and especially now during the rainy season.
Oh yes, it looks like it's
Yeah,
about to rain too.
yeah. Klang was actually flooded yesterday and today.
Oh, wow. True. I
Yeah,
mean, you know how it's like here. Whenever it rains,
yep,
and especially when it rains heavily, it goes
yep,
into flash floods, right?
correct.
Mm. Okay,
Yeah,
another one. Um,
yep.
what are the things to look out for in installation, especially in older buildings?
Okay, for older buildings, right, what you need to look into is first thing, the space for you to locate the tank. Firstly, you need to identify that. All right.
Mm.
One of the other difficulties that we face with existing buildings is that some of the rainwater downpipes are concealed in the building. So even the owners themselves, they don't even know where's the downpipe. So they need
Right.
to identify the location and they can identify the downpipes. Then you can actually propose the suitable system for them.
I see.
Yep.
Okay. So if there, if the, in the end, in the event that you really cannot find the downpipe, leh, then you are going
In
to install
then
a new
we'll
system for them.
recommend we can actually propose to install a gutter for them, a rainwater downpipe. We'll do a
Mm.
new downpipe for them, lor, which is
Okay.
possible.
Okay. But I
Mm.
believe the landing properties and also
Yep.
the what do you call that, the high rise buildings, they is
Yep.
two different system,
Yes, it's two
similar.
different systems.
Yes. Okay. Two
Similar
very
but different. Yeah.
same but different. Eh?
Yeah.
Okay, one last question from my end is the
Yep.
rainwater clean and filtered to prevent growth of bacteria. Well, I guess you
Yep.
answered this in your presentation earlier that
Yep.
regardless of how much you filtered or cleaned the rainwater, it will still have bacteria growth. Am I right?
Yes. It's actually due to the birds dropping that we cannot control.
Okay,
That's why
but
our proposal, our recommended usage for rainwater is for non-potable usage.
none.
Yeah.
Okay,
That means you
portable,
don't drink the water, you don't
not for
bathe in
consumption,
the
right? In that
water.
sense.
Yes, correct.
Okay, I see. Wow. Okay, but
Mm.
that's
But because why, right? If you notice in Selangor, you have water rationing so often. Imagine last 2 weeks, I don't even have enough water to flush my toilet after I poop.
yeah,
Imagine if you're using rainwater, you can actually use
yeah.
for that.
And I reside in PJ in the Selangor area, so
Uh,
we're like every time we see a notice out there, we're
yeah,
worried. Okay, I'm
yep,
receiving some questions from our viewers.
yeah.
From Muhammad Hafiz, he's asking if the tank should be underground or above ground. I presume this
Uh,
is more towards landed property then.
Okay, if it's a landed property, right? Landed property, I will not recommend it to be on the underground level because once you do underground level, the cost will cost you. You actually cost you a bomb because
I
why?
see.
You need to do excavation, RC, backfilling, waterproofing. The construction of the tank itself is will be very expensive already, and you need a submersible pump. That pump itself is very hard to maintain, and it'll be more costly compared to a normal pump. So our
I see.
recommendation is that you put it at a high level. If it's a residential landed property, you have ground floor, you have the first floor, you have your aircon latches in between. Am I correct?
Mm.
Okay, you
Yep.
can locate your tank at those aircon latches because the tank is not a very big tank. 500 liters is equivalent to 500 kilograms only.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
Okay, I hope that answers your questions, Muhammad
yeah,
Hafiz. Okay, we
yeah.
have a lot of questions coming in, so we're gonna go through
Okay,
them one by one since we have
okay,
a bit more time. Can you elaborate on first flush diverters as
all
well?
right.
This is from Chris
Okay,
Lee.
I forgot to mention in my presentation slide. Basically, rainwater harvesting system, the filters, there's actually two school of thought. The first school of thought is that you have rainwater filters. These rainwater filters are actually European school of thought. Okay, but whereby first flush diverters are usually Australian school of thought. So we go Australia, most of the system there they don't have a filter. All right, but what is the difference between a rainwater filter and a first flush diverter? Filter actually helps you. The rainwater filter filters off all the sediment and particles at all time. However, the first flush diverter, it only helps you to divert off the initial rainwater, meaning to say that the initial rainwater from the roof, okay, 5 to 10 minutes is being drained off. Then the rest of the rainwater enters in the tank. Not to say that first flush is not good, because why? Australians, they have a very long drought season. So they have like 6 months no rain. And then when the first rain that drops down the roof, there's so much contaminants. So they prefer to drain off that initial rainwater first. Okay. However, the downside is that during the rain, if there's leaves being blown onto your roof, and if your first flush is already full, it'll go into a tank. It'll be like the septic tank that I showed earlier.
So it's
Hmm.
not well, it's not a which is better kind of scenario, but it's more
Yes,
of like
correct.
what you
Which
prefer
is more
on
suitable? Yes,
and which is more suitable for whichever climate that we live in, right? Okay, I
correct.
hope that answers you, Chris Lee. Okay, moving on.
Yeah,
From Irvin, do you
yeah.
have sorry? Do you also have flood water harvesting for a site that is flood prone? Thank you.
Yes, we do it actually. Actually, because it's actually the same system being utilized of, whereby you can actually use the rainwater filters. Okay, you can store it, and then instead of the rainwater being going directly into the monsoon drain, you can actually collect it, store it in an underground tank. Yeah,
So
for this
this
one
is
specifically, you need
the
underground tank.
ground tank. Okay,
Yes.
got that. Okay.
Hmm.
So, Irvin, that's the answer for you. Next, we have do you have any real life photo of installation of the one with flower pot? This is from
Yes, we
Cole.
actually do. So, Danny, you can actually contact us via Facebook, and then we'll be able to show you because we've installed a few projects with this flower pot design rainwater tank, and we can share it
Okay.
to you in Facebook.
Okay. So, Terence has shared his contact earlier. We
Yeah,
will put it in the chat in a short while. So, if you need anything, you can contact Terence directly, or you can go straight to their Facebook
yeah.
page, and they can be contacted there as well. Okay, I'm gonna take a few more questions because that's all the time that we have. This is a
Okay.
question. If it says there. Is there any initiative of or proposal by authorities to implement rainwater harvesting on a major scale in Malaysia in order for it to take on significant effect? Well,
Okay.
relatively
Actually,
good question.
the government has actually implemented rainwater harvesting system since 2012. However, because as you know, the government itself they actually implement and implement it. But what happens is that there's too many municipal councils, small municipal councils, and then what happens is that these municipal councils, right? I mean, in outskirts, they don't really enforce it.
Mm,
Okay, the law is there, but no one's enforcing it. So that's the difference. So we actually dealt with KPKT, all right, every year. Okay, we actually have seminars with them whereby they come to our office, or sometimes we go to their HQ to present to all the municipal councils. So we even, just for information, we even draft up the sample, all right, of a checklist for Penang.
I see.
Yeah.
Mm,
So actually,
interesting.
it has been in Malaysia for a few years already. It's only that the enforcement.
True. I've also heard of your brand for a very long time, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not that old, but yes, I've heard of the brand for some time. Okay,
Yeah.
one more question.
Yep.
Do you also have flood water harvesting for a site that is flood prone?
Yeah, yeah. You have it. You have it.
Yeah,
It's the
we've
same
answered that,
concept as
right?
well. Yep, you've
Yes.
answered that
Okay.
already.
Sorry, sorry.
No problem.
Okay. So what any any more interesting things that you would like to share with us, Terence, from your end? Because this topic is very relevant, especially to our current, to us currently. A lot of water
Yes,
issues, and then it's been
correct.
raining nonstop for the past couple of days, or at least
Yes,
3 to 4 days, and it's
correct.
all dark out there now. So
Yes,
yeah.
yeah. Because of this session, because of time length, what happens is that I'll recommend that if any one of you are interested in rainwater harvesting system, you can actually contact us in our Facebook, because we actually have a live bot over there, and they'll direct you directly to our salesperson, and they'll be
I
more
see.
than happy to serve you.
Okay, that's awesome. So,
Yep.
guys, if you're listening and you'd like to find out more about what Backfree can do for you or your building or your residential, or if you're an architect who's doing new projects, please go through FB, type in Backfree, BACFREE, and
Yep.
someone will attend to you immediately. Then, all right.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very
I
much,
guess
everyone, for your time.
yeah, that's about all the time that we have for today. Thank you so much, Terence, for
Thank you,
today's
Lilian.
session. I've learned a lot of things. I think everybody has picked up a lot of things as well. Once again, before we go, I'd like to apologize for the earlier session that was called off. I'm glad that this went on quite smoothly. So, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time today. We would like for you to take a quick and short survey through the link, which is now in the comment section, to let us know how
Okay.
you think of our Architects Fast Forward webinar series. Thank you so much once again, and we'll see you soon. And stay safe. Thank you so much, Terence. Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.